Hello, this is Chris Kim, your favorite K-pop mania. Today, I'd like to talk about Peekaboo, Red Velvet's newest single. First, I'll talk about the context of the album, and then second, I'll talk about the production of this single. And last but not least, I'll talk about what people think and what I think about this single. So let's start with the Red Velvet in 2017. 2017 was a busy year for Red Velvet. They worked on February, they did single Red Flavor on July, and they made two singles through SM Station. So it was a busy year. They already made four singles basically. Two of them they actually worked hard. But then this year they came back with the November single and they didn't do it unplanned. They just boom, just came in and just like a hide and seek. They just were hidden for the plan and then they just surprised the fans basically on November. Their summer single, Red Flavor, got a huge success. It was one of the most popular songs of the year basically, and now they returned with another single in November. Red Velvet means red plus velvet. Red is a fresh light pop color according to SM, and velvet is a darker, more R&B type of music. Red Velvet's single was usually that of Red. One of These Nights was a great killing track. It was a great single from Red Velvet. It was a very velvet single, very R&B, very dark, and it did not receive a good reaction from the audience. So after that, they focused on their red type of music and got a huge success, obviously with the red flavor. And then with the Peekaboo, they sort of came back to the velvet. It's not as dark or slow as One of These Nights, but it's still velvet. It's not red. It's not just fresh, cute album. It's more dark. So first, let's talk about the beat. The beat of Peekaboo was produced by a producer called Moonshine. He's an indie hip-hop producer and also an indie solo R&B singer. And he produced a very minimal yet very fresh beat. It was a great work. I mean, it just felt different. It was so minimal, yet danceable, yet very dark. It was a really great beat, I think. He also co-worked with Swedish DJ Cassiopeia and composer Ellenberg Tomball to make a melody. So it was SM's very signature work where there's a beat maker and the beat maker works with other composers from all around the world and they work together to make something very unexpected, very irregular, and yet very global. And that's exactly what this song became. And who wrote the lyrics? None other than the queen of SM, Kenzie. Kenzie is basically the leader of SM in part of the music. She led SM's music production system, which I just talked about before, and this time she just came and then just decided to write lyrics by herself. And she was a leader, but this time she just decided to become a sword bearer, basically. The lyrics used hide and seek and use it as a metaphor for the dating, the modern day dating. So more like a younger generation's playful dating culture, basically. And Kenji expressed like younger generations love life as a fun playground, and that's what the point of this song is, apparently. This single got pretty popular. It didn't get as high as Red Flavor got, but it went to number 2 through 5 and just kept there. And music geeks like me or the music critics loved it. It's just R&B filled music, destroyed K-pop girl group cliche, but it's still beautiful. It didn't just destroy the cliche for the point of destroying it. It destroyed it to make something even more beautiful, but yet fresh, which is really hard to do actually. Red Velvet is not only breaking the cliche of a music, it is breaking a cliche of the K-pop girl group, basically, I think. I mean, it's very interesting. Red Velvet is somewhere between FX and Girls' Generation. Girls' Generation was more conservative, it was more typical girl group, very cute and fresh, And FX was something very experimental and very hard to understand, hard to grasp. And then there is Red Velvet, someone who can be a Girls' Generation and FX at the same time. And also, there comes a performance. You can distinguish Red Velvet from other SM girl group by its performance. Their singing, their dance, it's just beyond the greatness. I mean, everyone, all five of them are all great. And also, unlike FX or Girls' Generation, all of them have a similar image in each single. Their hair color is very similar, their clothes is very similar, their image is very much similar, just they're like five but yet one person. That's very interesting image, and of course it's their strategy. That's what they're making Red Velvet of. Last but not least, their music is very black music oriented. It's filled with R&B and hip hop. The music itself is so black. I mean, why are they doing it? It kind of reminds me of SES. SES was SM's first girl group right after HOT. And their role model was TLC, another great black music girl group. So for me, Red Velvet sounds like someone who is in between Girls' Generation and FX, but also a rebirth of SES. And by the way, Red Velvet started out as remaking the song of SES, which is exactly what they're trying to do basically. So their image and their strategy and their black music, with all those strategy, what are they trying to achieve? I think Red Velvet is trying to be something more than just cute girl group. They're trying to almost earn respect from the audience. I mean, it's really hard to do that in girl group unless you become Beyonce, an artist, or like G-Dragon. And even BTS produce their own music, and which is a huge deal, I think, huge part of BTS fame. And Red Velvet doesn't produce the music, and they're just great performer, and they're trying to earn the respect by being such a great performer. And their music is still in a high quality, but will they achieve that? I'm not sure, but it's possible. And although I'm not sure if they will earn respect from the audience, I still love their project. I love all of their singles, all of their albums. It's all high quality and just beyond the greatness. The members' performance is just beyond the greatness too. And I like girl groups cliche, like the K-pop girl groups cliche, that of Twice or Girls' Generation, but I like Red Velvet's new way too. So I kind of wish they just keep doing it and make a great R&B, make a great dark music, and make a more respectful, kind of cool performance instead of cute performance. Because I think it kind of makes things spice up. It just gives more variety in the K-pop industry. Oh, and last but not least, I highly recommend you to listen to all of their albums. Their just musics are so good. It's filled up with the great R&B music and great hip hop sound. Just highly recommend it. And that is it. This was Chris Kim. Bring K-pop news to the world, no matter how small it looks.